just took a lot longer than we ever expected, and I think a lot of that's just due to the planning that was involved, along with a lot of luck.
And what do you do from here now? What do you do?
Well, as I said in there, it's kind of now the prosecution gets to go to work, and the first step will be, of course, getting him back here, and that can take some time, probably several weeks, I would say, before he's back in Tennessee. But once he is, he'll go to court, probably federal court first, and then state court. And then it'll just be the normal process where we work through the court system up to and until there's a jury trial if it gets to that point.
You said before that there's a possibility if he let her go willingly, that something could be ruled in his favor. Is that still the case now?
Well, the Tennessee statute says that if a kidnapper releases the victim unharmed, then that is something that the judge can consider in favor of the kidnapper when it comes to sentencing. That's not the case. Mr. Cummins chose not to do that. We had to hunt them down on the other side of the country and get her ourselves, so that's off the table.
So tell me about the charges he could face. I know there's state charges in addition to now a federal charge.
Correct. Well, the states had pretty much from the beginning, we've had the aggravated kidnapping and the sexual contact with a minor by an authority figure. The kidnapping charge it's a B felony, Class B, carries a sentence of 8 to 12 years. The sexual contact charge is a misdemeanor that carries up to 11 months and 29 days in jail. As you heard the U.S. Attorney state in there, the federal charge, at least at this point, appears to have more teeth to it. It carries a sentence of at least 10 years, and that's 10 years to serve at 100%. So that's something that the U.S. Attorney's Office and I will be collaborating on about what's going to be the most efficient way to bring those charges, which court can get those charges prosecuted the fastest, and we're going to work together throughout the process to make sure that whether it be in state court or in federal court or in both, that justice is served.
What was your reaction when you heard about this? You know, when you got the news today?
Just relief. It's been a long road, and when my phone rang at 6:30 this morning, and I saw it was TBI, of course that was my first thought, was have they found her? And then of course at that time they hadn't, they were still in the process of staking out the location, and they hadn't made contact. So then it's just, you're just hoping and praying that everything goes well, that no one is hurt, and as far as we can tell, everything went as well or better than we could have ever hoped.
Is there any indication in terms of physically if she's okay, or?
Every indication I've had is that there wasn't any physical injury to her, but of course what has filtered to us from California has been somewhat limited, because this area, you have to understand, is very remote. There's no cell phone service in this area. We don't know what kind of access they had to the internet or media. And in fact, it took the county they're in is 10 times the size of Murray County in Tennessee. It took the sheriff's deputy 2 hours just to drive from the sheriff's department to the location where they were. So that just gives you an idea of how remote this area is. We obviously don't know everything that those officers on the ground saw there, but we will. And the FBI, TBI, local law enforcement, they're all on their way now, and they will process that scene just like any crime scene, the same way they would if it was in Tennessee.
You've mentioned if she went willingly under Tennessee law, it could be a misdemeanor. Is that applicable, or how does that apply?
Well, I think at this point, I don't believe that would matter after this length of time that she's been gone, and the absolute zero contact she's had with family and friends. It seems, pretty obvious that one of two things either happened. Either her will was just overborne and she went willingly thinking it was in her best interest, but actually just being brainwashed by Mr. Cummins, or at some point she wanted to leave and he didn't let her. We don't know what the situation is yet. It'll take some time to get her back, let her decompress, and then hopefully we can sit and talk with her and find out as much as possible about what the situation was.
Thank you.
Thank you.